Okay, eighth graders, so you're going to be doing a lab this week on natural selection. So once you follow the website to the actual web page, this is what you will see. It says, how can natural selection be modeled? So it talks a little bit about Charles Darwin and natural selection, which is nature choosing, who lives and who dies based on the traits for the environment. So what you're going to be looking at in this lab is a rabbit population. Okay, so you're going to be using a rabbit population here, and there are going to be 3 different mutations that you look at. You're going to look at large body and long legs, small body and white fur, and claws for climbing. And there are going to be 2 conditions set. You're going to either, so let me just click on this one for right now. You're going to either introduce a new predator. So even though we haven't specifically spoken about the word predator, a predator is what is going to kill another organism. So here are the mutations, and we have a new predator to the environment. So how is that going to affect the population? And then also we're going to run it for restricted food. So meaning that there's not enough food available. So how does that affect the large body and long-legged rabbits in the population? So for right now, I'm just going to set it up to be large body and long legs and a new predator. And you're going to begin natural selection. So it's going to run through this. Okay. And it's going to tell you 5 generations later. Okay. We notice that there are more normal and there's only 1 mutant. So what we're going to do there, hold on, this somehow got messed up, so let's just rerun it again. Okay, and then you're going to click on population graph. So here is the population graph. So as you can see, this is generation 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So generation 0 for the normal animals is 50, then it goes down to looks like 43, then it goes down, so on and so forth. So the normal animals seem to decrease while the mutant animals seem to increase when a new predator is added. So what does that tell me? That tells me that this particular mutation was advantageous, was good for the organism. So what's going to happen is the normal rabbits are going to slowly die out, while these mutant or mutated rabbits are going to increase, because for whatever reason, that mutation allowed that organism to survive and reproduce. Okay, so you're going to go through this. So you would go through large body, long legs, and then you would switch it to restricted food. I'm sorry, so you would hit close, restricted food, begin natural selection, hit population graph. So the first part of the lab is you're going to go through each of these 3, and you're going to go through both conditions, and you're going to record the data. So I'm going to just show you what that will look like. So you will have a Word document, hopefully you guys can see this, where I have the lab, the student answer sheet. So I'm actually going to give you what you see on the side typed up. So you don't have to hand that in, you have to hand this in. So I actually ran the data for you for the first one that we just did. I actually inputted the data. So generation 0 was 50, generation 1 was 43. So that was the blue line, and then the mutant was the beige line, or that yellow line. Okay, so you are going to go through and you're going to run it now for so this was for, I believe, the new predator, and now this would be for the restricted food. So 1, to kind of just bring you back, 1B. So let me show you where that is again. Let me bring you back here. Okay, share. So 1 is representing here, and then B is represented here. So make sure that when you report the data that you are very clear of which one you are clicking on, okay? So here we go. Let's go back to the other diagram. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and you're going to fill all this data in, and then you just have a couple of conclusion questions. It says, look at the information that you recorded from the table, describe how the populations have changed over time. So specifically for condition 1, how did the normal population change, and then how did the mutant population change. Please make sure that you do mention both when you talk about it in your conclusion questions. Okay. From your understanding of natural selection, explain why the population changed. So if the population decreased, why did it decrease? If the population increased, why did it increase? If the population stayed the same, why did it stay the same? Basically is what I want you to talk about. And then the last question here is, scientists have discovered by looking at fossil records that giraffes have shorter necks than in the past than they do today. Make a hypothesis of how that happened. And we did speak about that a little bit. So it's not too difficult of a lab. If you find that you are repeating yourself with a lot of these answers, that's okay. Meaning, like, if it's increasing, you could probably assume it's doing the same thing, whether it's, the long legs versus the white fur or whatever. So it's okay to feel like you're repeating yourself, because they probably are very similar. Okay. So hopefully that's clear. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email and ask me. And if not, you're going to upload this to the Edmodo submission tab along with the other assignment I'll be giving this week. Okay. Awesome. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you all got out there and really enjoyed this beautiful weather that we had this weekend, because once again, it's going to rain this week coming up. So hopefully you all got out there and really enjoyed. Okay. Like I said, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Hopefully what the example I provided in that first one, you're able to see and then model after. Okay. Awesome. I hopefully will be speaking to you all very soon. Okay. Have a great night.